Welcome to the Mr. Moneybags Find Me a Buyer Challenge. Super blessed to be here today, guys. Grateful for everybody. Good morning, Benson. Good morning, Emily. Good morning, Brittany. How are you today?
Oh,
Hello.
so good.
Hi,
So
guys.
fantastic.
Amazing. So we're going to let the participants start entering into our Zoom. I don't know, how many people do we have registered, Emily?
About 1,500.
So why I asked that is because I want to see how many show up, and not for any other reason, but to remind ourselves that the ones who show up are the ones who grow. That's it.
Mhm.
Everything that you do in your day, everything that you do in your life requires one thing: you to be there, you to decide to wake up in the morning to say, I am going to stick to a commitment. When you register for something like this, it's a commitment, right? You're making a commitment, a promise to yourself that you are interested in learning more, that you have a level of professionalism that can't be broken. Now, you guys have seen, Pace and I have been traveling through the Bahamas. I was in Canada. I raced back on an incredible journey to get from Canada back here for this morning so that I could keep my commitment to you. But how many keep their commitments to themselves? That's the question. Now, if you are here, congratulate yourself, because you did the first thing that everybody who gets success in life does, and that shows up for themselves. So you deserve a pat on the back, a round of applause, a better than a participation award, because you are in the game. You are on the field. You are here to grow and learn and do the things that are going to help propel your business. And I'm so grateful for your commitment to yourself. It's such an important thing. You do not become Brittany Berryman. You do not become a Pace Morby. You do not become a Jamil Damji. You do not do these things in life where you can absolutely flourish if you just show up and decide, I'm gonna just sleep in this morning. I'm not gonna hit snooze. Not gonna be there. Brittany, you gave me some incredible news today. Tell me about what's happening in your life.
So, good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or wherever you are. If you guys have been following my journey, and if you've been on the other calls and have heard anything about me the last year and a half or so, Astro and being wholesaling and doing everything and learning from Jamil has led me and my family to positions and levels that we never dreamed of. Well, we dreamed of, but didn't know would happen. And as of Friday, this coming Friday, we will be moving into our dream home that we had built from the ground up. So
do you have any pictures? Can you share a screen? Can you share a shot with us of what this house will look like, please?
Absolutely. I'm ecstatic to do
you guys.
that.
I'm totally surprising Brittany by even asking her this. She
She
has no idea that I was going to do this. But I want to see this pad. I want to see Brittany's palace.
Here's what I'll do. I'll actually,
She's like a proud mama.
I am.
There's so
You just
much
opened up the
love
floodgates,
going on in the
Jamil.
chat right now.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna email myself some, because I keep them all on my phone, and I don't do well of putting them anywhere else, because I want to do like a big reveal where I show everything off at once. So
okay, I know I'm letting a little bit of steam out but just show us the front.
Okay.
If just the front elevation, that'll give us all an idea of what might be behind the walls.
Okay, let me do that.
Guys, while Brittany's doing that, remind yourselves to network in the chat. Okay, network with people in the chat. You don't understand how important it is that you connect with people, that you build relationships, that you provide exchanges of value with people that you meet in these virtual meetups. This chat is popping. There's $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 producers in the chat. There's newbies in the chat, people who you can support and help. There's masters of comping in the chat. There's so many people in the chat that you can connect with. Make sure you're doing that.
Okay. So do I have control to share my screen?
Yes, you should. Yes.
All right.
There we go.
Wow.
So that is our home that we built from the ground up. Again,
Beautiful.
never thought in a million years, it's on 2.5 acres, that we could be able to do this, but just through stuff that we've done through Astro. We already put our couch in. We have the delivery.
Damn, Brittany, you're balling.
That is beautiful.
I think
We're
we got to
really
change your name
excited.
from Brittany Berryman to Brittany Ballerman.
This is our upstairs theater that we
got a
built
theater in your house?
upstairs.
Come
Yeah.
on.
So this is upstairs. So we're really excited. Friday, our boys can't wait.
Oh, I bet.
Wow. Wow.
Congrats. That's
And
amazing.
how long did it take you to build the income and the wealth and the ability to do that?
So from the time of we started, we decided what we want. We knew what we wanted. We had a visualization in January of 2021. That visualization then just turned into just dreaming of it and knowing what we wanted. This is January 2021, before I even knew about Astro or wholesaling. Joined Astro in May of 2021, and then just kept knowing what we wanted. Mind you, joined Astro, started wholesaling May of 2021. In December of 2021, we decided, okay, we're going to do this. And then we closed on the construction in the land in February of this year, February 2022. And now we move in. So 8 months of building and less than 2 years of from visualization to boom, it happening.
And see, guys, what's important here, right, is when when Brittany first visualized, excuse me, when Brittany first visualized the level of life for her family and herself, she didn't have a how yet. She didn't know. She didn't know how she was going to get to that spot. She just had a bigger vision. She decided that I am worth more. I have my family and we deserve more. We deserve to have comfort. We deserve to have land. We deserve to live in a beautiful place that's high vibration, that we can grow and entertain and commune and love and all the things. Like, we deserve this. We deserve this. They made a decision that they deserved it. They still had no mechanism to get there. But see how life will find you. It will find you, right?
And
so
then even before knowing that, like I remember vision before even knowing the how. I love that you pointed that out. I didn't know how. Like there was no, I don't even know if we had more than $5,000 in our bank account at the time of me visualizing this. So I'm visualizing, had no how in my mind, but in visualizing and meditating and believing and praying about it, I saw the vaulted ceiling. If y'all saw the pictures, I have a vaulted ceiling. I saw the kitchen in the back. I saw that couch, like that couch. I was sitting on the couch with my coffee, with the fireplace in front of me. Like that was my vision. And then less than 2 years later, there it is.
And the how happens. And then the resolve, right? Because all of us just need a chance, don't we? How many DMs do I get from people? Coach, put me in. All I need is a chance. All I need is a chance. I just need a chance. Well, you're here today, guys. Your chance is now. So before we even begin, I want you all to set an intention. What are you trying to accomplish? Why will you be tuning in for the next 3 days? What are you here to accomplish? Have you been locking up deals and having to cancel them because you've been having a hard time finding buyers? If that is your reality, set an intention to change that reality. Set an intention to have a buyer for every wholesale deal you contract. Set that intention. If you are brand new and you've never even locked up a deal, but you want to understand how to find buyers before you go and take the step to lock up a deal, set an intention that you will learn the processes and that you will acquire the techniques and tools required for you to build up a cash buyer list that's so robust that the moment you decide to pull the trigger and take action and lock up a deal, that you will be able to connect the dots and get it done. If you're brand new and you just are here to watch and be entertained, set an intention to have a damn good time. Whatever it is, be intentional with it. Don't just drift in it. Don't be here and decide that you're half in, half out. That's not what this is about. I am not volunteering my time. Brittany is not volunteering her time. Benson's not volunteering his time. And Emily's I think the only one being paid. Emily is not being paid to be here with you guys just to drift, right? We're all here because we absolutely are committed to your success. We care about you. We love you.
Yeah.
And with that said, Benson, I've been watching Privy just massively explode in its, not only in its technical capacity and the number of markets you guys are in. It is, in my opinion, and it's not just my opinion, I share this opinion with many people, it is the prop tech solution of the industry. And especially in times like now where the market has shifted, the algorithm and the technology that Benson has been able to provide all of us the resource of, he's changed my business at Keegley. Benson changed our business. This tool is so good. It helps you find deals. It helps you find buyers. It helps you understand the markets that you're working in. How have you been?
Amazing. Amazing. I'm here sitting here in my Airbnb in St. Louis looking at snow. You guys are, it's probably sunny most every place else, but I got my first snow today. But I'm wrapping this up. As you can see here, I actually have furniture now and it's painted. And, I'm ready to kind of close up this chapter and get it rented and move on to the next one. But this place came from Privy, and other properties that I've found and closed here in St. Louis have come from Privy. And we're so excited. I mean, we opened up a fundraising round to help us fuel all of the growth that we have going on right now. We're hiring a bunch of new developers. We've got new customer success people. We've got a CFO. It's like things are blowing up, Jamil. And it's because of this community is a big part of it, because people here are actually executing. People are actually committing, and they're signing up and they're doing things and they're having success and they're sharing their success. So I'm just grateful to be part of this amazing community. It's just been a wild roller coaster of fun. I love it.
Amazing. Emily, you're what, 12 months pregnant?
12 months? Oh, goodness. Whew. No. I'm about 5 months.
Okay,
About
I'm
5
just
months.
playing with you. We know Emily, guys. Emily moved to Indiana. I've been following her Instagram. Unfortunately, she's not in the same town as us anymore, but I get to follow her and Greg and Sky in Indiana, just enjoying life, loving the seasons. They're in a place with seasons now, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch you explore life and grow and enter new chapters. We're still happy to have you be a part of our flourishing team, Emily. Welcome again to today. Guys, we're super ready. I want to get us kicked off here, but you guys all know that I don't do these things without starting in prayer. And the reason for that, it is my belief that anything and everything we want or need in our life can find its way to us through our source if we ask and take a step towards it. Now, again, if this makes you uncomfortable, guys, no problem. Mute me for the next 30 seconds because I'm going to do it anyways. But if you'd like to join us, here we go. Father God, we love you so much, Lord. Thank you for today. Thank you for opening all our eyes and giving us breath, for giving us the minds to connect and communicate with each other. God, we are so grateful for that. Lord, we pray that you guide each of us to your purpose for our lives, so that the steps we take are your steps, the words we speak, your words, the actions we take, your actions. God, we pray that you guide us to those individuals that'll be of benefit to us, either through a financial gain or through a lesson we need to learn. And we ask that you deflect us from those individuals that waste our time or bring us harm. Lord, for any of our family members here that are in any need of additional understanding of what we will teach today, God, we just ask for perfect clarity in their minds. And for any of us suffering through any physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual pain, Lord, we pray for perfect healing in our lives. And Lord, it is with humble hearts and in your heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Whew. Every time I say that prayer, I feel the energy in my body. It just like raises up, you know, it's a real thing, guys. We are collaborating with our creators in every moment of our lives. Don't forget that. Do not forget that. Nothing happens outside of God. And understand that anything that you need or want can find its way to you, as it did for Brittany. She wanted that house. She needed that house. And the how found her, and the mechanism found her, and the relationships found her. She just had to take a step. She had to have the vision, set the intention, and take a step, one step towards it. And look what happens. Manifestation at the highest level. You can create your world in your mind and in your heart if you want. And if right now your world is not what you want, understand that you are reflecting that from your own thoughts and beliefs of what your worth is.
Yeah.
That's it. So if we need to
100%.
raise that, you've taken a step towards it by being here today.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I want to just announce our season 3 premiere is December 3rd. And it's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. We have executives from A&E flying in. Pace and I also have some interesting and incredible musical guests performing at the premiere. Outkast will be there. The Outlaws. If any of you know, I'm a huge Tupac fan. And if we would not, it would not be a Jamil premiere if we did not have the Outlaws rapping and representing there. So we've got
Of
the
course.
Outkast Outlaws performing at our premiere. Come
That's
on.
awesome. Let's go.
At
Now,
the
Pace and
premiere
I
of
wanna-
what?
Pardon
At the
me?
premiere of what?
Season 3 of Triple Digit Flip, season 2 of Triple Digit Flip, baby. Yeah, come on.
Let's go.
Awesome.
So I see somebody in the chat saying, I'm jealous. Here's what's up, guys. Pace and I want to bring 5 of you to Phoenix, Arizona for this premiere. 5. We're going to put you up in a beautiful Airbnb. Y'all are going to commit. You guys are going to become homies, friends, network. Come to the, we'll send a black car to your Airbnb and chauffeur you to the premiere like a celebrity. You'll take pictures on the red carpet with Outkast, with the Outlaws, with Pace and Jamil and Laura and Rahima and all the fabulous people that you guys are accustomed to being seen with, all the fun stuff. Who wants to come to that party? Who wants to be in that house? Who wants to be in that
Let's
room?
go. Sorry, y'all. He said there's only 4 left because I already visualized that one of those is mine. So
3.
it's
I'm
happening.
gonna fly in.
That's what's up. You guys all want to be there. So here's what we will be doing. All right. Benson, I know you've created a special opportunity for people who sign up for Privy in this challenge. For anybody who already has Privy, here's the thing: we can't fake it because we're gonna check your email with the register, like who already has an account. If you already have a Privy account, you're automatically entered. So don't stress. Okay. If you signed up through Pace's link, no problem. If you signed up through my link, no problem. You're automatically entered. You are a part of the draw. If you are here and you do not have Privy yet, you have to sign up. Emily, link in the chat.
Wow, this was unexpected.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Holy
Y'all don't
moly.
I
sleep on
see
that.
Steven Reagan says he had Privy twice, but never got his discount. Maybe Benson, after we can help him get that settled. Guys, understand, you guys have Benson's ear. If you guys have a problem, if there's some issue going on, you know, technology is technology. Things glitch, right? Every once in a while, if you didn't get your discount applied, Benson does not want to not give you your discount. He wants to give you a discount. So
Yeah,
Steven or anybody
I'm
else,
not
if
going out
you've
of
had
my way
any,
to do that at all as far as mess someone up on a 20% discount. So reach out. We got a team now who can handle all of that for you. So please reach out. I'll put the email in here and just let us know. Okay, we'll definitely fix that for you.
guys, if you already have Privy, you will be entered into the draw. I promise you. Everybody who registered and has Privy will be in the draw. Anyone who gets who registers and downloads Privy now will obviously be entered into the draw. If you guys signed up for Privy years ago and you didn't get a discount, okay, I'm sorry. Okay. These discounts are for these promotions that we do on these challenges. So just know that you've got the best real estate software in the game and that you had a 2-year head start on folks, right? Like, what does it matter? we are just going to be pulling names. Yeah, it's literally going to be rando. So Benson's going to give us the whole email list of everybody who registered here, everybody who already has a Privy account, everybody who signed up for Privy during the challenge. We're going to put all those names into a randomizer, and then we're going to select 5. And 5 of y'all are going to get your butts down to Phoenix. We're going to airfare you. We're going to Airbnb you.
Yeah.
We're going to season
That's awesome.
season 2 feed you. It's going to be dope.
Holy moly.
How
And
fun, right?
I'm assuming too, Jamil, right? Like we have a 30-day money back guarantee, right?
Yep.
So you can't just sign up and then cancel within 30 days. You got to keep your account,
That's true.
right?
That's
We're
true.
going to keep track of that too.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's just a piece there, guys. You know, it's got to be fair. I'm going to be spending money, right? It's probably going to cost me upwards of $10,000 to $15,000 to bring you guys down. Like, it's not cheap, right? I'm not going to put you in just some scumbag spot. We're going to put you in a nice spot. We're going to give you, chauffeur limo service. You're going to be treated like royalty. You're going to be treated like celebs. It's going to be expensive. So, yeah, just don't count. Like, no, I don't think I know we do have some folks that just like, maybe, why people cancel though, Benson? It's not because it doesn't work. People cancel because they don't trust themselves to do the work.
Yep.
100%.
They lost belief in themselves.
Yep.
They lost belief in themselves. And when you lose belief in yourself, you cancel on yourself. That's what happens. That's what it is. Look,
Mhm.
how do I know it? Because I've done it before. I had gym memberships. Let me just say this, okay? Gym memberships work if you freaking go to the gym.
Otherwise, it's a charitable donation.
If you don't, you cancel it because you canceled on yourself, because you lost belief in yourself. It's the same thing, right? A gym membership, Privy, it's a tool. It's a tool. For me, a gym membership is a tool to a better, healthy body, right? So I go. Privy is a tool for a better, healthy business. So you use it. It's what it is.
I
All right.
wanted to mention too, real quickly, for those of you that sign up for the annual plan, it isn't in the promo there that Emily put up. We're going to give you our free virtual REI course and our coaching calls at no cost. That sells for almost double what we're putting it in here for. That'll also be added to your account with a bunch of other bonuses I'm not going to get into. So if you can afford it, get in the annual plan and you'll get way more value.
Amazing. What did we just saw? I saw this. Who is that? Put that, pin that up. Audrey Francis said, signed up for Privy August 14th, got their first deal August 26th. Guys, August 25th? Yeah. And 9 days to a deal. Just what are you doing? If you
Wow.
haven't got your first deal yet and you don't have the tools, you guys are you're messing up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got to say about that, guys. Also, astro flipping is the best. If you're not a part of our community, again, you're dropping the ball on yourself. How many deals have you done with Astro family members, Brittany?
Oh my goodness. Way too many to count. I mean, I lost track.
If you look, other than
It's-
the knowledge that we gave you in the course, how valuable is the community?
I mean, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without the community. Like from start to finish, from day one I mean, it's scary, right? Especially when you're jumping into this unknown. Like most people don't take action because they don't have a support system at home. And if you for example, if you are married or whatever, and your family's like, oh, you're crazy, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to be able to do it without a community. You're not going to be able to do it without the support. So that's what this community is. You have people who have gone through the same thing that you've gone through, who are doing the same thing that you're doing, and who will support you, encourage you. I mean, it's a roller coaster. And with that support is literally the only reason why why I know I'm successful, because it's scary to take that first deal, to do that first deal. And when you have the support, when you have the systems, when you have, people like, leaders like Jamil saying, hey, I got you. You're not going to fall flat on your face. What are the pros? He's kind of, here's the pros, here's the cons. Like, where does it land? Here's a positive, here's the negatives. Is it really negatives? Oh yeah, no. So yeah, it's hands down the greatest community I've ever been. I mean, I would do it 50 billion times over and over and over and over again. I get that question all the time. Was it worth it? Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. 150
Love
billion
it.
%.
Love it. All right, Brittany, I know you got a lot to drop. Shall we
Yes, I
get to it?
do. Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited, y'all.
Let's put the spotlight on Brittany.
Well, hello, hello, hello. So, again, if y'all haven't seen me on other challenges, if you don't know me, I'm Brittany Berryman. I live in Texas, literally just moved back here in June. I lived in California for 6 years. Proud Texas Aggie. See that flag? Actually, that's not my flag. I'm in a friend's office until we move into our home on Friday. But so if you're in Texas, hit me up. I do deals in Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Central Texas. And yeah, this call, I'm gonna be as authentic as you can imagine. Nothing, everything that I show you is stuff that I actually do. So nothing that you'll see is made up. Nothing is practice, rehearse. I don't have some script I'm reading off of. This is literally what I do. And it's literally about finding buyers, because my belief, I know 100% that a deal is not a deal unless you have a buyer, right? I love having, somebody's from College Station, Stephen Richardson, woohoo! We got to meet up and do coffee or something. But I like communication. I love seeing action in the chat. So I'm going to ask y'all questions and I want you to respond. All right. Give me thumbs up if you agree, hearts, anything. My first question to you all is, put a 1 in the chat if you think it's most important to find a deal first. If you think it's most important to have buyers, put a 2 in the chat. Now I want to see what kind of audience that we have. Whoa, look at that. Oh, it's blowing up. 2, 2, 2, 2. Yes. So, it always comes that question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do you have the buyers first, or do you have the deal first? And I know without a shadow of a doubt, you don't have a deal. You can't bring a deal to the closing table. You can't close that title until you have a buyer. There's nothing to close on if you do not have a buyer, unless you're the end buyer, right? So that's my whole goal here, guys, is to show you how to find those buyers. And especially in the market that we're in right now, the market has shifted so much in the last 3-4 months that buyers are very, very, very specific. Buyers are some of them are very scared. Some of them are like, hey, I'll buy anything that you have, as long as the numbers make sense. And back in, earlier this year, 2021, all those things, people weren't as cautious as they are right now. Right now, buyers are very cautious as to what they're buying because they have to make money. If they're not making money, then there's no point in buying the deal. So you have to, of course, get your deals locked up at the right price for your buyer to buy it. You have to have a relationship with your buyers. And of course, it's really important to build those relationships, because I guarantee you the big buyers are getting emails and text messages from not only you, but probably 50 other wholesalers. So what makes you different? How many buyers do you think, even myself, I get emails saying, cool deal, check it out, click this link here. I can't tell you how many things I delete out of my inbox that says new deal or ready to assign, because I get so many of them. And it's because I know it's an email blast. I do respond to people that I know that I have a relationship with, who has my number, that can text me, who I've had a conversation with, whether it's on Facebook or email or text messages, that I know a deal is coming and I'm not just some rando on their e-blast. So one of the things I love, one of my favorite methods of finding buyers is obviously using PRIVY, especially because I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth market very heavily, and a lot of my buyers in specific areas, Dallas-Fort Worth is a huge metroplex. I can really track down of where I want to, number one, find deals, and number two, if I have a deal first, if there are buyers that are in that area. So I'm going to walk you through that. First, I'm going to show you, like, if you're unsure, if you're like new at this and you're like, I don't even know what market to choose. Well, I'm going to show you on PRIVY how to do that. And then I'm going to show you on PRIVY, if you have a deal, how you can find a buyer in the neighborhood or the surrounding area of your deal. And then I'm going to show you just some communication that I've had with some of my buyers, even as recently as today, this morning. I mean, I talk to my buyers almost daily, and they're updating me on what they're looking for. And that's the key. If you can find out what your buyer is looking for, you reverse engineer on locking up the deal. Everybody follow me? Cool. It's funny, I had a text message literally within minutes of each other. I always check in with my buyers. One buyer, I said, hey, just checking in, see what you're buying right now. Let me know. His response, and this is to tell you how, you know, the market, people say, oh, the market is crazy and, you know, nobody's buying. Other people are like, hey, I'll buy anything you have. And people are like, nobody's going to buy right now. Nobody's fixing flipping. This, let me tell you the drastic difference of these two text messages. One buyer said, I bought several properties mid this year and I'm still holding on to all of them. I will not be buying again till first quarter next year. Okay, that was one buyer. Literally within minutes, my other buyer sent me a text message. Heck yeah, I just closed on 3 last week. I need more, send them to me. And I know this is a literal legit buyer. Like this person, like he's bought from me 4 or 5 times already. So if people are in your head saying, nobody's buying right now, you know, the market's dry, there's no deals, it's a lie. Every buyer is different. But you have to have the deal locked up right. Okay, so y'all ready to get into it? First, I'm gonna tackle, you know, those who are like kind of new and maybe you're trying to figure out, okay, what market should I head into? What area should I focus in? So I think I can share my screen. All right, everybody see my screen on Privy? Yep. All right, y'all. So if you're like, I don't even know where to start. So this is my screen. This is my favorite screen on Privy. This is my favorite thing. I like going in, I'll filter out what I'm looking for. I filter the area that I'm looking for. And if you click on this deals button and click on fix and flip, I can see where the fix and flips are happening. In this, I'm specifically looking in the Fort Worth area. Now, if I look at this closely, I can see, wow, this part of Fort Worth, this area had about 50 fix and flips. Let me see what's going on there. So if I click on that, it'll zoom me in a little bit closer and I'll be able to see specifically what the properties in the neighborhood, right? I'm gonna move you out of the way over here, Benson. You're in my, or the screen is in my way. So I can see like these are properties that have actively closed. Okay. And click on this one. And if I click on comparables, you can even zoom out a little bit. One thing that you could do, like when you're comping for these types of properties, you can see, I can see this investor, like this Privy will highlight in blue an investor type property. So this property here, it lets me know that an investor did something with it. And there might be even like, look at that. You could tell that was rehabbed, right? So if I click on it, I might even be able to see a before and after. Let me see if it'll show me that. So this one, it doesn't show me a before and after, but I can see, you easily see that this property is remodeled. Or this is actually a new build, my bad. So this one might have been torn down and rebuilt and built back up. But then you can also see all the other comparables in this area. So if I go back, let me find one that's been actually remodeled, because that one would not have a before and after, just because it was not a remodel, but a build. And go all the way back and click on another property.
Brittany, try that back to search button. It's right at the top there. That's the easiest way. No, you just did it.
I don't like doing that just because sometimes it freezes and spins on me. So I try to stay within, like, I know this is the area in the neighborhood that I'm trying to stick in? You're talking about this button here though, right?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Okay,
that one
there
just
we
takes you back to here.
Yeah. So again, all these, if you see this little spinning circle, that means it's pulling up the property. So give it a little bit. So this shows me there's been, oh, it just went away. I think it had 283 fix and flips in this area.
Yeah, our criteria for a
So-
fix and flip is 2 transactions in an 18-month period where they bought it, fixed it up and sold it, and they bought it lower than 75% of the ARV. So if there were
Yep.
2 transactions and it was a wholesale deal and they recorded it, it may or may not be like a full flip, but there's no checkbox in the MLS that tells you that a house is a flip. We're just looking for the indicators of what a flip
Right,
might
so
be.
like-
This one definitely would have
so-
before and after.
So if you guys see, this one was built in 1950, and you can absolutely tell that this one was flipped, right? So I know that, look at the before and after. That's the before, and this is the after. I want, if I'm looking for, if I have a property in this neighborhood, or if I'm just in, here's one thing to think about too. If an investor says, hey, I buy in Fort Worth, look at Fort Worth as a whole. Like they're probably not buying just in one little small neighborhood of Fort Worth. Like it's best to say, hey, I have a deal here in Fort Worth. Are you interested? Instead of like limiting yourself to just one little pocket of a neighborhood, because you never know. So I'm going to find out. Let's see, this sold in April of this year. So whoever sold this property, they're probably more times than not, they're looking for another property to flip. So I'm going to go down to, I like to see the recording date. So I could see that they purchased this property in April. And again, just confirming that it's a flip. And they sold it in August. So it took them what, April, May, June, July, August, 4 months. So again, absolutely a flip. And then I can see they sold. So this is, when you look at this, people get confused here. They're like, oh, well, the flipper, this is the buyer. No, this is the end. This is after it was flipped. This here is the family who bought it from the flipper. This here is the person who flipped it. Because you can then see back in April, they bought it. They bought it to flip back in April. Then they sold it to this wonderful family, the Cruzes. Okay, but then you're like, well, hold on. This is a company. How do I find out who owns this company? Multiple ways you can do that. I would say skip trace, but depending on how quickly the record has been updated, if you skip trace it, it might pull up the new owner's information. So I want to know who owns Resney Properties LLC. So one way you can do that, open corporates is my favorite. And yeah, it takes a little bit of homework. And we're in Texas. And there they are. Mansfield, Texas. Mansfield is in the Dallas area, so I know that's them. And I can see that Chad Smith is one of the owners of this company. So what I will do was find a way to contact Chad Smith. I could skip trace his address. I could look him up on True People Search. There's many ways you can find out who this investor is. And so just doing your homework and doing that. So I love tying those two things together. I won't go too deep into doing that, but you guys get the picture. Sometimes this address is the address of an office building. So I would, search this office and see what's the name of the company and get the office, get their office phone number, or maybe there's an info at blah, blah, blah email address and say, hey, this is an email for Chad. Can you pass it on to more? Can I get Chad Smith's contact? Some way you can find out this individual's information. All right. And again, just seeing this area here, you see that there's a lot of buying activity. So another thing, when you're locking up a property, sometimes people like to get stuff way out in the boonies of somewhere that people never even heard of, a little small town. And this red area is like completely, like there's nothing. do not wholesale in those areas because you're going to have a really hard time finding a buyer. So again, your goal is to find buyers and you're not finding buyers who, you're not trying to find a family. You're trying to find buyers who are fix and flipping. Heck, buy and hold. If it's a buy and hold investor who's renting it out, those are kind of difficult because Benson, correct me if I'm wrong, but this might pull up people who are just living there as a family, right?
This search right here,
The buy and
buy
hold.
and hold. Yeah, it might. But what that means is they bought it and it was bought as a non-owner occupied property. So it would be unlikely, but this is the best way to find flipper buyers. But we also have a search where you can find absentee owners, right? That's one of the
Yep.
filters in the main filter where you can find landlord buyers. And
Yep.
you know, landlord buyers will pay a little bit more on a percentage of ARV, won't they, Brittany?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This one, I want to also point this out. So again, this you can tell is a flip. This is before and after. But then you can also see like the percent ARV that these, you know, homes are purchased at. So you could see where your buyer needed to be. Like this, if you're going to reach out to this buyer, you have an idea of where they needed to be to, you know, purchase a property in your area. Again, there's the company. You could tell they sold it, they bought it, and they sold it. What, a few months later? When did they buy it? So that was probably a quick rehab. So you see they painted it. Maybe they, you know, painted the interior. I don't know what it looked like before on the inside. And then, you know, they sold it. So sold for $385. They bought it for what, $136 purchase price. So again, you can see where they needed to be on that purchase price. But yeah, this is like my favorite way to find buyers. And it's like, if I'm looking in a specific area, some of you, I don't know if you know the story. I did make the mistake once of locking up a property in a small town in Texas. If y'all are familiar with Texas, in Madisonville, Texas. And it was only because the property belonged to one of my friends. And she was like, hey, my dad passed away. My mom's really sick. I know what you do. Can you help me, you know, get rid of this property? And gosh, like small town, I think there's maybe 4,000 people in that town. And I used Privy to see just maybe there's somebody that buys there. And sure enough, I found 2 buyers in that entire town that were investors, and one of them bought that property. So just the beauty of, I would not have found that individual without Privy. So that was just a beautiful thing. As Benson was talking about, so one of the cool things too, again, you could filter things out. So if you wanted to filter absentee owner, you want to adjust this ARV, say, you know, I usually try to put it at 70. Fix and flip. Like you said, if you want to see if you want to find someone who is renting out the property, search area, whatever you want to, you know, put in your search area up here. Buy and hold, absentee owner. So if you know they're holding it and they don't live there, 9.9 times out of 10, they are renting it out.
Yep. And actually too, on that absentee owner one, you don't need to use that percentage of ARV.
Yeah, it actually changed for you. Like once you select buy and hold, this changes out. So I didn't even touch that.
Yep.
Right. So let me see if let's look here. It has a lot of activity.
Yeah, a couple
So this
people
is
are
helpful.
asking about the direct to MLS. Like, fortunately, we have direct to MLS in this part of Texas. But if we don't have direct to MLS, this process will still work exactly the same. The only thing that's different is that you won't have the photos, because the photos come from the MLS. So if you
Right.
have a third party, or if you're using another platform other than Privy, you won't have images.
Yep. And again, here's, you know, Privy will highlight 2, like the investor activity. So there's 2 items of investor activity there. If I wanted to specifically look at these homes this home that sold, it's a cute little home. Again, I can see before and after. That's a really nice remodel there. They just sold it in August. So again, it's just a really neat, sometimes if you look for properties on like realtor.com and you're trying to find because you could do that. I mean, yeah, you could go and like try to find do a search and Google Houston, Texas, or let me be more specific. Yeah, let's use Houston. Houston's a big city. But anyways, if you're Googling Houston, Texas, and you're on realtor.com, you're like, well, let me just look and see if I can find a house that looks like a flip. And then you have to click through all the pictures and, oh, nope, that one has clothes in the closet. This is so easy, like to just be able to see, oh, there's investor activity. Those 2 blue dots there shows that there's an investor that bought this. And then there's more proof. You can see before and after. I mean, Benson, I love the fact that y'all have before and afters. Like, that's just so beautiful. And then like even more so, you're seeing like the price where they need to buy. You can see where they sold. That's one of the key things. Like, how much were they able to sell this house for? And if you are in a non-disclosure state like Texas, y'all, like you can't find what home sold for on Zillow or anywhere else in non-disclosure states. So I do love that. And to see that this home sold for what, $374, it's just almost like, and then you see what it sold for like when they purchased it. So they purchased it for $115. And that kind of gives you an idea of where was that? Oh, and then another thing, it looks like this one was listed. So this investor seems like people have that question of like, well, buyers aren't buying properties that are listed on the market. This guy did. It was listed at $99,000 or almost $100,000, and he bought it for $15K more. So if you're into doing MLS deals, on market deals, doing agent outreach, then that's proof for you that as long as the numbers make sense, your buyer will buy. But you have to make the numbers make sense for your buyer, or they will not buy. You have to make the numbers make sense. You can't force numbers to make sense. Like, you can't force your buyer to say, well, if you, I literally had someone do this to me. Well, here's the problem. Here's the possibility. It could be this. It could be that. They're not buying on could be's. They're buying on what it is right now. And of course, you have to come down a little bit more because you got to make your fee. So you have to get these properties under contract at the right price so that your buyers will buy them. Y'all, I want to leave time for Q&A. So, did everybody get something, like understand like this beautiful, I mean, it's just, I just love everything about this in Privy and what you can get from it and what you can do with it.
Hey, Brittany, it's worth mentioning too, like when you were talking earlier about the dichotomy between one buyer and the other, what one's buying, one's not. Well, the ones that are buying, even a deal for them is different for every one of them. So their buy box is different. There is not a universal formula that you can use to go that is going to blanket cover all buyers, which is why that discussion that you have with your buyers is so valuable, because then you can find out specifically what they want. Because one buyer might tell you no, and then all of a sudden you think, oh, well, it's not a deal. Well, no, it's just not a deal to them.
Exactly.
It might be a perfect deal for somebody else.
Yeah. And like I said, you can't, no one, you can't choose it. The market can, the seller can't decide it. Like, every buyer has a different buy box. I'm going to show you guys a couple of conversations that I've had with buyers, even with like the last couple of days. And this is just like, here's the thing. You have to talk to buyers with confidence. You have to talk to them like they're people. And some of them are just really funny. I'll start with this one on the right. So this is a buyer I was having a conversation with, and I was like, hey, do you prefer to, get your deals by text or email? Because I want to know if I'm going to send you, again, we're talking about relationship with buyers. If I'm going to talk to a buyer, if I'm going to send a buyer deals, I want to know where you're going to look. Like, if I send you an email, are you even going to open it up? So my question is like, is it best to send you deals by text or email? Funny, and some of y'all might relate to this. I'm sorry if you're on this call and you're with New Western. His question, that should have been are you with New Western? That was his first question. I'm like, heck no. And his emoji back was like, run. Like saying run. I'm sorry, no offense to New Western. But this buyer apparently had some bad experience with New Western, and nothing against New Western, but I just, that was a point where I could like, hey, I can, it made him human, and it made me human. So like, heck no. Like, it kind of broke that formal conversation. And then kind of it just gets, a little bit more comfortable. I told him, hey, I own my own company. I flip here. I do wholesale in these two places. He's like, hey, do you have anything I can look at right now? He sends me his phone number. This buyer up here, he tells me like where to send all, tells me exactly his buy box. Once a buyer tells you their buy box, that's your key right there to start taking action. Look for properties that are in that buy box, or if you already have a property locked up and he's like, oh shoot, I have one in Rowlett, or I have one in that's seriously open door, game on, let's go. Just having that human conversation. This buyer up here, told me, hey, my buy box changes periodically, and just literally tells me everything that he's looking for to the T. So again, building that relationship with the buyer, not just blasting out. I mean, if you blast out emails, kudos to you. But are those emails getting looked at? If you use something like MailChimp or something like that, have you checked your what do you call it? The statistics in your reports to see how many people are actually opening those emails? Great, they open them. How many people are actually clicking on the links? How much response are you getting back? Because is it just another email blast that they're getting? Or do you have a personal relationship that you can text or DM or phone call with these buyers? This buyer down here on the right, I'd actually communicated with him. I check in with him periodically, and anything I get in Houston, I'll send him. And he sent me a message. He was like, hey, do you still, I had a house in Sugar Land. If you're familiar with Houston, Sugar Land is a suburb. So do you still have it? And I was like, nope, I signed it. And we, this was, last a couple weeks ago. And then, I messaged him. I was like, hey, always touch base, always find out what your buyers' buy boxes are. Because again, with the changing market, ever changing, every 2 weeks, their buy box is probably changing because they're, shifting along with the market. So I was like, hey, what's your buy box right now in Houston? I may have something send your way. He was like, honestly, anything with a good spread. That's good news to me. Right? And also knowing what they're buying at. So I know that this individual says he needs to close at 70% ARV minus repairs. That is key because it's important on how we comp. So I know now that even if I get a property locked up at 70% ARV, he's probably not going to touch it if he does go 70% ARV minus repairs. So if I'm looking for something specifically for him, I do have to, I don't like doing that when I'm comping and when I'm making offers, but I need to keep that in mind now because a lot of buyers, I think probably 5 within the last few days that I've reached out to are doing this whole minus repairs now. Whereas earlier in the year, they weren't necessarily, or even 2021, they weren't necessarily concerned about the minus repairs part of it. They're just, yeah, I'll buy 70% ARV. Heck, I'll buy 80% ARV. But now with the market shifting, they are doing that minus repairs thing. So it just makes us stay mindful of how we have to lock up deals. So yeah, so just want to share that with y'all. Yes.
A lot of people in the chat are asking, what is your initial message to them?
That's a great question. And yeah, I can't see the chat, so I can't. So if I'm not seeing y'all's questions, I apologize.
Oh, I got you.
Let's see. I could see you all. That would be beautiful. So my initial conversation, it's just literally, it's like I'm talking to my friend. Well, not necessarily, but usually my first is like, it's just a simple, if I already have a relationship with them, or if I've already, struck conversation with them previously, I'm usually just going in like, hey, so-and-so, hey, Joe, how's it going? Just checking in. How are you buying right now in Dallas? Or simply, hey, what's your buy box right now in Houston? Or what are you looking for right now in College Station? Like, it's just as simple, as quick as that. Don't be wordy. These people are busy. If they are buyers and investors, they're probably at a closing table or going to a closing, or they're not sitting eating chips waiting for you to text them. So you got to be quick and to the point. Hey, what's your buy box right now? Hey, are you buying right now? Hey, if I have a deal, what do I need to send it to you at? Like, straight to the point. Don't have a full conversation with them. Now, this is people that you've had relationship with. Now they know who you are when you're texting them. If I haven't had a conversation with them, or I'm introducing myself to them for the first time, it's a little bit different. It's, I don't know, maybe I heard of them. I get a lot of buyers from, just being in the Astro community, being an Astro flipping community, where an Astro student who works the Florida market will send me a text message. Hey, I was doing some outreach and I found a buyer that's in Texas. Here's their contact information if you want to reach out. I'll message them like, hey, you spoke with so-and-so, they gave me your contact information, said you're interested in buying some stuff. I get a lot of deals my way. What are you looking for right now? So I'm a little bit more like, I'm introducing myself, but again, straight to the point. I don't want to be worried or wordy. I don't want to send them a text message that's that long. They're not going to read it, because they are business. This is a business, but it's also relationships. So you have to find that balance. So hopefully that answers that question. One last thing I wanted to do before, I dig into more questions. How do I organize my my buyers? Because that can become, if you work solely on just, text messaging, that can become a little bit like, well, I don't even know how to, if I have a deal, how do I send it out? And you're like searching through your text messages of like, let me see if I can find that other buyer that one time. I use a system, in my CRM, I just organize it that way. So I can just pull it up really quick if that's okay, Emily.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you need help?
I just want to make sure it's okay if I shared it.
Oh, yeah.
So I use a system. I use Close as my system. And if y'all can see my screen, this is my full CRM. I have all my opportunities in here, all my leads in here. So I have all my leads, but I also create smart views. So in my smart views, I can see like all the deals that, that are actually ready to comp. So if they're in this smart view ready to comp, my acquisitions manager will comp it. If it's ready to send offer, my TC will send the offer. And then these are the people that, work with us, their offers, the offers that have already been sent out. But then I have a smart view for my buyers. So my Dallas Fort Worth buyers are all in this smart view. And these are my top, these aren't just any buyers. These are top buyers who actually have taken action and who have bought from me. These are all my top buyers in DFW. So when I get a deal, these are the people, look at it. It's not, I don't have a 2,000 person buyers list. I don't. I'm not blasting it out to 5,000 people. Some people like that. I just don't. I'm more specific because it's easier to keep a relationship with these 17 people in Dallas Fort Worth. So if I click on this person, I can directly from my CRM send them an email or send them a text message or shoot them a quick call. These are my top buyers in Dallas Fort Worth. These are my top. Bryan College Station is a small town. It's like 90,000 people when students are in town, 30,000 people, or maybe less than that when students aren't in town, but it's growing. But these are my top buyers in Bryan College Station. These are 5 people I go straight to. My buyers in Houston, like these are the 3 people, like boom, 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 boom. They like, and y'all, last week I closed 2 deals in Houston. Week before I closed another 2 deals, and these 2 ladies here, they're both named Kristen, ironically. One or the other of them is going to buy it, and they're usually battling back and forth on who gets it. If one gets it, the other one's a backup. This one gets it, the other one's a backup. So again, it's just so cool to have that tight buyers list that I know if I have something, I can go directly to these people and they're going to buy it because I've built the relationship with them. Now, with the market shifting, I've had to readjust my buyers because again, these aren't the same. A lot of these aren't the same buyers that I had earlier in the year, because a lot of the buyers that I had early in the year were buying a lot and they're now holding on to stuff they can't rid of. So about maybe a month and a half ago, I had to go and readjust and shift my buyers list because it changed. All right. So that's what I have right now. Emily, do we have time for a little bit of Q&A?
Oh, yeah. We have like a full hour.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we had like, yeah, well then let's go. Let me see if I can change this view.
Brittany, do you think we can try calling a buyer?
Try calling a buyer? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me see.
We're just putting you on the spot today.
I know.
Show us your house. Call a buyer.
Hey, Brittany, I want to comment on the size of your lists, how important it is that you don't have a list that's thousands of people. Like, this is why you're able to have such good execution and follow through with your people, because you're spending all your time building relationships with a select few.
Exactly.
You're going way deep with them than broad with a list. And that is such a good point for everybody here, that you guys build relationships. It's all about how deep you can go with them and become their buddies, their friends, meet in person potentially if you're, local. Way more
Right.
important than just getting a huge list of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to find a buyer that I can call for you guys. I'll see if I can put it on speaker.
Hello.
Hey, Jake, this is Brittany. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. You busy? I know you're always busy. That's a silly question. Can you hear?
Actually reading. I was about to start reading this book, The Laws of Human Nature.
Awesome. Awesome. Are you in Brenham right now? Or are you in College Station?
I'm in College Station.
Okay. Really quick. So I'm trying to just update some stuff in our system. And I know, me, you and Chad met, and I want to just kind of tighten up what y'all are looking for, so I can really hone down on what for y'all specifically, in this area, like College Station, Bryan, and Brenham.
Okay.
So break it down for me. I know y'all are holding some, and I'd just in looking in some of the chats y'all are in, are y'all still trying to burr or what?
So it depends. So single family houses, not really, unless it's just a smoke and deal. But I think if it's a smoke and deal, we'll likely flip it and just sell it cheaper. We're probably going to end up keeping multi-units. So if it's got 2 units or an ADU or it's a duplex or a fourplex, we'll most likely keep it.
Okay.
If it is, if we can burr it or even small stuff, right? We can get that done. Now, what we're really looking for is more of bigger plots of land, bigger or homes on pieces of land, stuff like that. It'd be a 3-2 or a 4-3 on a couple acres, or even 15-20 acres where we can split it up.
Okay.
But
So-
really, we'll look at anything with the right margin.
Okay. And that's no matter whether it's BCS or Brenham?
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. So if you have land, you're willing to build on it.
Well, so I don't know if we're going to build right now. So actual development probably isn't the way, isn't our game yet. But more likely, if let's say you have a big piece of land, right? And we can go and survey it, put in fences, put in entrances, maybe put in some roads, electricity, sewer and water if it's there. And so kind of some land development type stuff. That's what we could do with that, but probably not new construction.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, that helps. I'm just trying to see what I can lock in for y'all and keep it rolling in y'all's pockets.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, if you have most things, me and Chad are always looking for personal rentals. So, if you've got rentals that make sense that are more turnkey, we'll look at those as well.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your reading.
All righty.
All right. You take care. Good talking to you. All right. Bye. All right. So that was a call with a buyer that I have a relationship with. He knows I'm going to call him, periodically and just kind of see what's going on. I see there's a request for me to, yes, I am using my personal number. Just because I'm probably going to text from them, or I'm going to text them if I have my phone. I like using my personal number with buyers, just because again, the relationship is more repeated. Whereas if it's with the seller or with the seller, I'm probably gonna, do one deal with them, and unless it's like an investor getting rid of their properties. So yes, to answer, I saw that question. I do use my personal number when talking to buyers. So the next challenge, we want to see a cold call. So if I use Privy to find a buyer, let's see what we can do. Let me select the market.
Man, we could even look up that one buyer, Chad. Does anybody know his last name? It was Chad something that we already found on Privy.
Oh, dang it.
Was it
just
Smith?
leave-
Chad Smith.
That's a very general name.
It is.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. Even if I use my tricks, it would be it'd
Do
be
you want to
very
share your
difficult to-
screen?
Yes. Let's see. Here we go. And I think I'm going to give myself even another challenge. What I'm doing right now, I'm actually double checking myself. This challenge, so a lot of, if Privy, and again, Benson, correct me if I'm wrong, Privy is available in every market. And I'll do 2 of these because we have so much time.
Yep.
However, if it's not available, like if it doesn't have the absolute direct MLS, it does use third party, so you can see the information. So like this, I know Privy's not in, again, Bryan College Station is a smaller town, but it's, where I live. But I know Privy still has the information of who the buyer was, when they bought it, and what it sold for, and who sold it. So I can see that these individuals, the buyers, they bought it in August of 2021, and then they sold it in May of 2022. I can't see the before and after in Privy because of like just the specifics of it not being like having direct access in Bryan College Station. But with my brain and knowing that if they bought it in August of 2021 and sold 2021 and sold it in May of 2022, it's likely a flip. Think of that timeline: August,
It
September,
is,
October,
yeah.
November, December, January. So yeah.
There's
So I
a
know
little bit
that's
of a
flip.
difference there. So we've got direct to MLS data in over 60 markets. And everywhere else, we've got like third party level data, which would be similar to like what PropStream or Batch has. But with Privy, we're going direct in as many markets as we can. So right now it's 60, and then we're gonna have another 50 here within the next few months. So we're gonna continue to add more, but we're the only one that's doing that. So what might be helpful, Brittany, is at the top of this, in these third party areas, in the MLS details section, there's a link where it'll go and it'll look for pictures. And then you can see if it looks like a full renovation. So if you scroll to the top there.
Hold on.
And then in the MLS details section, there's that little blue link.
This here?
No, scroll down just a little bit. Right there, there's a view external listing. So that does a quick Google search to see if there's any photos out on the internet on that property. And it looks like nobody has photos for this.
No.
But if there were, you see them there and you'd be able to say, okay, yeah, that's a flip.
Yeah. All right, so let's find one that is a flip. Let's go back to Fort Worth. I don't know if y'all can hear that crazy wind. If y'all live in Texas, it was a crazy thunderstorm in the Houston and College Station area last night. And the wind is still going crazy. All right.
Yeah, so just find one that looks like it's a flip on the left there. Just scroll
Yeah.
down, and then you'll find
This
one.
one, that looks
That one
like
looks-
it might have been a
yeah.
flip. Built in 1954 originally. Yeah, look at there. That's a flip. Let's look at the before and after. I don't know if that's a before.
That's the street view. They bought it,
Yeah.
when it says public record, that means they bought it direct from seller.
Okay. All right, anyways, I want to go, sorry, I can get into like a whole rabbit hole and looking up the details. Okay, so
Looks like Turk Investments.
yep. So I'm gonna look up Turk Investments. Go to my favorite. And it looks like a common name, but I know that this place that it's likely it's gonna be here in Texas. So this one that's based out of California, maybe, maybe not. This is the other one. That's Turk Ranch Investments. So I don't think that's the same one.
One thing you could do is you can export that list and it'll show you what their address is. If you export it into a spreadsheet, and then you'll be able to see if Turk Investments is actually a Texas-based company or California.
Where are you seeing that at?
So if you close that, and then at the top right there where it says download, right underneath the blue fix and flip, go ahead and just download this list. And it'll show it on a CSV file, and then Turk Investments will be at the top.
See, y'all, I'm learning something new from Benson. This is why y'all have him at your fingertips. So this downloaded all those properties. And if I were to look up, let's see.
Right there, mailing address, Lester Granger Drive. So see it there, it's row 3.
It's a Fort Worth based company,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not pulling up on there.
So for those of you that are thinking about, doing this en masse, you can export that list, and we give you actually up to 10,000 exports per month, whether it's for finding buyers or you want to find foreclosures or absentee owners or other off-market leads. Those are all there for you inside of Privy.
Look at that one. This one actually shows before and after, inside and outside. So this one on public record. Looks like it's sold.
Yeah, that one just sold. They haven't even recorded it at the county yet. So the buyer
Yeah.
was the Chav or Arturo and Monica.
Right here. All right, so I'm going to search up these individuals, and the route that you can go there, again, you can export the list, and you can skip trace based on the individual's address. So if you want to spend money and skip trace it, Benson, does Privy has skip tracing ability within it?
No, we're not doing skip trace. That's more of a marketing function, and we're really staying core to the data and analytics.
Just
But
curious.
you might just pull Arturo from True People Search.
Yeah, that's what I do. I was just curious if Privy skip traced. All right, and they are based in one of the it's beneficial to know whether they are.
Are you showing this
In
on
Fort
another
Worth.
screen? Oh, there we go. It just popped up.
So again, finding the individual, or I can search Arturo. Let's look him up. Sometimes when it's when it's individuals and not a company, and you don't know who you're going to, who you might get, because some of these names, depending on like the popularity of it, and if there's not a company associated with it, it's hard to pair those two. So again, this is diving just a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah, so Janet's there right on the top.
So she is based, if y'all see that.
Well, that's the
Halton's-
subject property
That's a city.
city.
Yep, yes, yep. I'm going there. Again, so this one only recorded where the subject property is. I'm going to assume maybe she's in, what was it, Haltham?
Mm-hmm. Click it from the drop down there because it said Haltham. There.
Yeah, this is a little bit a little more difficult to search up. Let's search it up by Monica.
That's a pretty common name too.
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, when it's a common name and it's not a company that purchased it, it's a little bit more difficult to dive into those.
One thing you might do, Brittany, is just look at that spreadsheet and then look at the ones that are
Mhm.
businesses.
Yep. So this one, HEB Homes.
That would actually be the one above it because they haven't recorded the final deed yet. So it'd be Metroplex Casas on the buyer. They bought it in July 16th.
Yeah.
One over there, Metroplex Casas.
Oh, do you think they
Could work.
double closed this maybe?
Could be, but that's where they bought it. It was in July and then they just
Mhm.
closed it.
Located in Dallas. So Alex Sadler.
He's in Addison, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
One thing to get from this, you guys, is that this isn't just going to materialize overnight. Like some people get so frustrated and they just wanted to like, just give me the phone number. Like this takes some time. There's a reason why Brittany's buyers list is so small and valuable, is because that she's done the research. It is well worth the investment to do this research and get the right people.
And I'm looking them up through. I'm assuming, again, some of it goes by assumption. Arlington is in the Dallas area. So you could search, like you could assume that. Could be this individual.
Yeah, why
That's
don't you
Fort
just
Worth.
view details and give him a call and ask if that was him. And it may be, he may tell you to go pound sand.
Yep. And y'all, if y'all hear that, then that's the nature of the business. It just happens.
Alex, leave your name and number. I'll call you back as soon as I can. Happy.
Well, it's a voicemail there. And then I may follow that up with a text. But at least you know the number works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, hey, Alex, did you work on the property on Katrine Street? And if that's him, he'll say yes. If it wasn't, he'll say, nope, wrong person. And if it's a yes, then I would follow up with a little, hey, I have a few properties in Fort Worth. Are you guys looking for anything else that I can send your way? And that's how that conversation would go. Let's see if we can find any. Let's try one more before we go to Q&A. And again, y'all, this is like you literally, I think, I don't know if it's tomorrow or Thursday. It's so valuable to have a buyer intake person because this is one day out of your week should be dedicated to doing this solely. I know that most people spend, 3 or 4 hours a day doing agent outreach or making, calling and getting properties under contract. You have to spend the same, at least one day out of the week doing this for your buyers list. Like, otherwise, you don't have a deal. So you see the time that goes into it. You have to find the property. You have to find who bought it. You then have to find out the individual's name. And then you have to find out how to contact them. And that's literally how you find buyers using this method here. It's not just like you don't get a list pulled up and you're cold calling buyers. Like, that's not how it is. It's finding out who actually worked on the property, trying to find their information. And sometimes it's difficult to find that individual's information, as you see, if the transaction hasn't closed yet, because we're seeing properties that have, transaction happened as recently as, a week ago or a month ago. So
Brittany's your
let's
computer
see,
gonna
this
die?
one. It might soon.
It looks like your
I
battery is
actually
like,
had to transfer rooms because we are in the process of moving, so we had to find a room that has a better Wi-Fi. All right, one more. And again, this one, the seller was DACA Investments, and they were also the buyer. So, they are the ones that did the flip. And I'm going to search for them. This is absolutely right there. Let me go get a plug and plug this in while this does the search.
I'll look for this person while she's doing that. So it's Ollie DACA of DACA Investments. True People Search is a great tool, you guys. It's absolutely free, and I've had good results with it. I put the link in the chat earlier, truepeoplesearch.com.
Hey, Em, can you put me on the screen?
All right.
Oh, there we found Brittany's back. I think your laptop is running out of juice, Britt.
Oh, it's good. We fixed it.
Awesome.
Did you find it, Benson?
Yeah, there's a handful of matches. There's one where somebody's kind of used to live in the Fort Worth and Mansfield areas. It could be the person, they're 35, the other one's 20, so maybe the 20-year-old isn't probably the flipper on that. So Ollie S. Daca Sr.
Yeah, one's in Arlington, one's in Grand Prairie, so it could be the same person that they're pulling up. Let's try one. Let's see. And I always dial the wireless number if anyone's asking which one I dial.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Let's try another. Leander's in Austin, so I highly doubt it's that individual.
One interesting thing about this property, Brittany, is that they actually got it at 69% of the ARV. So now you got a sense of where they need to be on a property, percentage of ARV wise.
Mm-hmm.
They bought it for 190, sold it for 276. Now here's another angle that I'm not sure how often you've tried this, Brittany, but the agent on this is Ariel Del Fierro. Have you ever called the agent and said, hey, listen, I saw that you closed that deal with Ollie Daca.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in, I'm finding some properties that might fit his buy box. You know, can we set up a conversation?
Yep.
Please leave your message for.
So no one's answering their phones today. Yeah, sorry, Benson. Yeah, I have done that method before and just reaching directly out to the agent. If you guys will want to hear that conversation, I can surely show you that. But it's literally just giving them a call and, you know, let's see, 817. And sometimes I'll let you know, yeah, I handle all of his properties, which, you know, it's a slam dunk. So listing agent was Ariel Del Fierro.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, is this Ariel? Okay, are you an agent? I'm looking at a property that I think you or your company listed on Wesley Street. Yeah, that'd be great. What's his cell phone number?
4.
Okay, I'll give him a call. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All right, let's call Ariel's actual number, 817-524-5790.
Brittany, can you turn your speaker up a little bit?
That's as loud as it goes.
Oh, okay.
Please leave your message for 817-524-5790. 790.
Hey Ariel, my name is Brittany Berryman, and I was looking at a property I think you listed a few months ago, the one on Wesley Street. And seeing that you listed the property, I'm just trying to see if the seller was looking for anything else. It looks like they flipped it. I have quite a few properties that we're trying to get off of our hands. So if they're interested in any more, just want to either send it your way or send it their way. I prefer to send it your way just so that you can pass it on to him if he's looking to do any more projects right now. If you can, give me a call back. My number is 979-204-7975. Again, my name is Brittany Berryman. Talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, guys, so unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a conversation. We can't get anyone to answer their phones. So I don't want to take up any more time, continue to try to call for not getting answers. So, but yeah, so you see the process. Again, it is a process. Again, I highly recommend you taking one day out of your week just to do that, because it's a search, it's a find, it's a call, it's playing matchmaker and figuring out who these buyers are. And once you get them, like I said, I have my handful. I'm good with the ones I have. Now, if I'm specifically looking for a property in a specific area, like if I have a property that's in a specific area and I want to find buyers in that area, then I'm going to go back and do this same search. I don't do this specific search every week unless I'm looking for a specific property, because I have my buyers in my pocket. If you're looking for something as far as like, you're trying to find out if you're in a non-disclosure state and you're trying to comp, it's great for that. And you can also see where your buyers are buying right at, especially within the last 3 months. I like it also in the fact that you can see where they need to be. So if you've had a property on your hand for say 5 days and you have a 10-day option, or you're like, okay, why is nobody buying this property? Like, did I lock it up too high? Go to PRIVY, see where the buyers locked up their flips, like what area they locked their flips at. Hey, Ariel's calling me back. Should I go ahead and answer?
Yes.
All right. Shh. This is Brittany. Hey, Ariel. My name is Brittany Berryman. So I think you were the listing agent on a house on Wesley Street a few months ago.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know who the seller was, but it looks like they flipped it. I have a few properties that I'm not gonna flip. I'm trying to get rid of in this area, and I was wondering if I could send them your way to send it to him if he's looking for another project.
So they're distressed properties, or?
Yeah, they're distressed properties.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it best to text or email those your way?
Thanks.
Okay. Do you know, like, do you work with this individual a lot, or?
Yeah. My bigger clients, so that's what they do.
Okay, awesome. So I'll send all those your way. If they are interested in, then great. If not, just let me know. But what's your email?
So I'll text it to you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll send you a text after we hang up, just so you have my contact information, and then just text me your email and I'll send them all over your way.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ariel. Bye-bye. Boom.
Nice job. That's great. That's a great connect.
That is a great connect. So that's like I said, if they're flipping, if they have a listing agent, which Vince, I'm glad you picked that up. If they have a listing agent, they're 9 times out of 10, they're going to list it with a listing agent. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to use a listing agent that they've used repeatedly. If they don't have an agent on their own team. So, straight ahead that, hey, this is someone that, I can send them all my properties. They're going to send it to their buyer. Their buyer doesn't mind paying commission to their listing agent. You let them handle that however they want to handle it. And it's become repeat business.
Interesting fact. Did you know that 30% of the deals that we sell at Keegley are through realtors? 30% of our business happens through an agent, just like we talked to today, Ariel. So guys, this is super important, right? I think this is probably one of the biggest gems that we could have gotten from today's session was, of course, you know, buyers tend to be out in the world doing their thing, right? They're looking at vendors, they're picking up supplies, they're checking on trades, they're checking on their projects, they're making sure that things are going well, staying on track, staying on budget. That's what they do. And so sometimes they're not tied to their phones. And that can be problematic if you've got a shortened time frame on getting a deal sold. Benson's approach to call the listing agent who's been representing that buyer, phenomenal, right? What a phenomenal concept, because Brittany goes, that phone number is readily accessible. She calls that person, because this is an investor friendly real estate agent who probably does a lot of business. They're the kind of person that answers their phone or calls people back immediately, which you saw happen. So Ariel calls Brittany back right away, says, look, yeah, of course, I work with this guy. He said, and I picked up on the thing that he said, this is a larger client of mine, right? So guys, pay attention to what that conversation said, right? This person and this relationship, that's a big relationship that they've got. Now, Brittany makes alignment with that real estate agent, and she starts funneling properties to that, who obviously, look, this Ali Daka guy doesn't pick up his phone. He's not accessible. The realtor is, though.
Right.
So now we've got to flow through to that buyer. So this is how this is done, guys. This is the process. What we wanted to show you was the process, start to finish, on how you would be able to connect the dots to talk to somebody. So this is what you've got to do. And of course, this takes time, right? You've got to sit down for a few hours in the day, and you've got to pound through these calls. You have to make the phone calls. You got to pick up the phone. You're going to dial a lot of numbers where people are not going to pick up. That's going to happen. That's what working is. Working is not just connecting every single time, right? It's going to be, it's going to be a process.
From the beginning, as I said from the beginning, like, I'm showing you exactly what a day looks like. There's no script. There's no, oh, let's prepare for this. This is what it looks like. So when you're sitting at a desk and you're in front of your computer and it's an hour and a half later and you're like, this is what it is. That's what I say. You need to pick one day out of your, at least for buyers, one day out of your week where you just do this. Like, you have to. And it's work. It's not magic. It's not a magic pill. It's not like boom, 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 boom. Like, it's a process. And there's two sides. I want to address one of the questions. Several people they're asking, well, how do you pay that buyer's, how do you pay that commission? Which is a great question. And that's something you have to consider when you're not going, I'm just going to use Ali since I was the last one. If I were going directly to Ali, then I wouldn't have to worry about a commission because I'm talking directly to him. Unless he decided, oh, I need to have my agent involved on the buy side, more times than not, your buyer isn't going to have an agent involved. So in that instance, I don't have to worry about the thought of commission. But when you do go the route of like, okay, let me call the agent, you guys got to keep this in mind. So we showed a route of when you're going speaking directly to the buyer. Then there's a route of speaking to an agent that the buyer uses for all their transactions. So when you go that route, there comes a point of like, okay, well then who pays the commission? Because most of you know, in a real estate transaction, the seller usually pays commission for both sides. That is a normal real estate transaction. The seller pays commission for the buyer and the selling agent. But when we're trying to, get a deal done and we're trying to save the seller money, we're like, well, there's no buyer side commission. If that's, if that's your pitch, well, now there is. So you can keep that in, like especially if it's an on-market deal, usually the listing agent already has it in the contract that there's going to be a 6% commission that's split. Usually that's already in their contract. And if they're okay with it, fine. But if you've
already got it tied up, right, Brittany, if you've already got the deal tied up and you work through the listing agent to get the deal under contract, that 3% is already spoken for. Right. Exactly. So guys, it's really important that you communicate to the realtor when she sends this agent a deal, she's going to say specifically, price is net to seller. Agent, add your commission on top of the price.
Exactly.
That's it. That's the only disclosure she needs to put on the deal text. Here's the address. Here's the bed bath count. Here's the link to the pictures. Here's the wholesale price. Price is net to seller. Agent, please add commission on top. Done. That's it.
And this agent is going to send it to his buyer with his commission in there built in.
Yep.
One thing to consider too is that a lot of agents, especially agents like this one that are really trying to show value to their buyers that are like doing a lot of deals, they'll go find off market deals for them, not expecting a commission, knowing well and good that they're going to be able to list that property for them on the back end. So they're still providing value to their client by getting deal flow and just saying like, I don't need a commission. I want you to succeed and I'm willing just to make my money on the back end. Here's the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Brittany, there's a compensation agreement that you've got. Do you mind sharing that with our friendly people here so that they can get that document and use it to compensate their agents?
Absolutely. So yeah, so if you've heard on other calls, another thing I do, I use a compensation agreement. So if, say if there is issue where they're like, there's a commission issue, then I'm like, well, I'll compensate you by giving you a percentage of, my assignment fee. And so there's a compensation agreement that we put in place that goes into the title company, and they're compensated that way and everybody's happy. So I'm more than happy to share that document. Emily, do you just want me to email that to you and can it be emailed out?
Yeah, I actually still have it in my email, so
Okay.
don't even worry about sending it over again. I got you.
Awesome. Very cool.
Amazing. Wow, we've got Brad Holkman in the chat. That's our executive producer over at A&E. You guys ever wonder the caliber of people that we have in these rooms? It's incredible. But Brad is not only our executive producer and like a incredibly powerful person in the world of entertainment. He's an Astro student. He's learning. He's learning how to flip properties because he's obsessed with real estate. Because he is absolutely obsessed with growing his real estate portfolio. So he's not just here to find talent. He's here to learn. He's here to learn. And maybe he finds some cool people to make another TV show with. That absolutely can happen. That's just the power of being in rooms like this. So we've got some Q&A. I think we got a few more minutes here, Brittany, if you want to end off with some question and answer. I think there's a Q&A button here if you can see that. Can you get access to that?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now. I'm scrolling through some of the questions I think we've answered throughout the call. Someone asked, this is a good question. Do you recommend sending buyers a form to complete their buying criteria? No. As y'all saw, buyers don't even like answering the phone. They're not going to fill out a form. So no. Send them a text, get on the phone with them if you can, but usually they're going to be quicker. Just send you a text back saying 70% ARV, blah, 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 done. They're not going to fill out a form. So no, I don't recommend that.
I agree. I think anytime you add any friction to an extra step, right? This is a conversation I've had with Benson, Emily, Bobby, Brittany, everybody on my team. Anytime that you add an additional step to somebody, you will lose a huge percent of your connectivity, because that's just, think about it this way, guys. Okay. You've been on the internet, you see a product you like, and you're like, oh, I want to buy that. So then you actually get your credit card out, and all of a sudden it wants you to do extra steps.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what? You're like, I'm not going to bother. And then you don't buy it.
Yep.
And I do that all the time. If companies could make it much more simple for me to just complete my payment, I'd buy way more stuff. But because they create all the forms, they want to collect all the data, they want to do this, they want to completely wreck my user experience with extra steps, they don't get the sale. Right. So the same thing is going to happen with your buyers. The same thing's going to happen with anybody that you provide extra steps to. It's just the law of laziness. That's what people do.
Yep.
It's fact. And so Brittany's 1,000% correct. For people asking if this chat's going to be saved. Yes. Bobby, can you save the chat? So we will save the chat and we will email out the chat, guys. This is something we haven't done before. So we're going to test it out. We are going to copy the entire chat and we're going to email the chat to everybody so that you guys have access to this chat and you can go and scroll through and get people's names and phone numbers. And for any of you guys that have been like, oh man, I want to connect with all these folks, and all these amazing phone numbers and emails have been in the chat and I can't, and this is hard. So we're going to solve that problem for you. Saving the chat. You're going to have all of this emailed to you guys. Again, we just want to make your experience in doing this incredibly fun and rewarding and powerful, right? And I think having access to this chat does that.
Yeah. Hey, there's another great question here.
Yeah.
I'm glad from Arthur Hall. So he says, so I imagine when you send the properties to the agent, you already have those properties under contract. Absolutely. Don't ever send a property out to an agent to send to their buyer that you don't have under contract, because they can just go get it themselves at that point. You have to, and just for the morality and ethics of it, have the property under contract. And I mean, that's the rule. That's the game. Get a property under contract before you start sending it out to people, especially someone that you don't have a relationship with. So hopefully that's 100% clear.
Guys,
have the property under contract.
It's illegal not to.
Yes.
Okay. Unless you're a licensed real estate agent. If you are a licensed real estate agent, you can shop property because you have a license to market and broker homes. That's a completely different conversation. As an unlicensed wholesaler, you cannot send out a deal that you do not have equitable interest in. This is the legal instrument that gives us the right to trade and do what we do as a business model. So the fundamentals, guys, fundamentals of this whole thing is having contractual control. Okay, that's known as equitable interest. It's why wholesaling is legal. It's why this works. Equitable interest. Understand that. So yes, 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 yes. Brittany's 1,000% yes. That's great, great answer.
Another question, what do I need to do for a listing agent so that they can do dual agency on a deal in Texas? States like Texas do not do dual agency. They can act as an intermediary, but their primary responsibility is still to the seller. They can act as an intermediary, or you can actually ask them, well, can you have another agent in your office, maybe represent on the other side, if that's something you want to do. But most listing agents are, they cannot, in Texas, you can't do dual agency. It's called an intermediary.
Great answer.
Day-to-day routine. I love answering this. I guess you're asking what is my day-to-day routine? I think that's the question. So I wake up 5 a.m. and I start getting, again, those of you who don't know me, I still have my 9 to 5 job, my 8 to 5, whatever you want to call it, 5 a.m. job. I actually get up. That's the first thing I dive into. So I can get ahead on that. I call it eating my veggies first. Who likes to eat their veggies? I don't. So I eat my veggies first. I, take care of the stuff I need to do for my regular job, making sure that's all handled. Take the kids to school, come home, and get anything I have left over from stuff I need to handle immediately for the regular job. Then I start diving into stuff for this business, for wholesaling. Depending on the day, Mondays, I have my team meetings, and then I dive into any offers that are out and needing to be sent. I work mostly on, I handle heavily on the dispo side, so on our buyer side of things, while my acquisitions team are bringing in deals. After we do that, I go to the gym for about 3, 4, 5 hours.
Wow.
I take my laptops with me, like during our breaks, I'll, work as well. And pick the kids up from school, come back home, dive right back into this. So, yeah, this is my life. I mean, Monday through Friday, I love just sitting in front of a computer, looking at deals, checking deals, communicating with buyers. Someone asked, how often do I follow back up with my buyers? Usually every 2 weeks. I'm touching base with them just to see, hey, where are you at right now? And because buyers, some of them, they're buying like 4 or 5 deals a week, 3 deals a week. And I still want to know, like, all right, are we still good? What are you looking for? I always want to be bringing them deals. And as the market is changing every freaking day, y'all, scary story. When we locked our house, when we started building our house, interest rates were at 3.5%. By the time we locked in our loan, it's at 7.5%. So
Oh,
things are
wow.
changing. Yeah,
Wow.
that's another conversation.
But you know what though, Brittany, you'll be able to refi. I'm
Yeah,
we've been talking to a lot of folks that are in the lending world, and they're saying that interest rates will get back to about 5%
Yeah.
for the election.
that'd be wonderful.
So you'll be able to refi around then. But
Yep.
right now is a massive buying opportunity, guys, because look, with rates where they are right now, we haven't seen massive spikes in inventory. That's the piece that I want everybody to understand, right?
Mhm.
The massive spike in inventory that we saw in 2008, just to give you guys an example, in Arizona, Maricopa County, when the market crash happened in 2008, the number of listings we had on the MLS was 70,000. Right
Mm.
now, with the market having turned, there's 19,000. Okay, so we are nowhere near the kind of inventory that's required to crash a market. We have what's
Yeah.
called an engineered stall. This is an engineered stall, and it's been engineered by the Federal Reserve to try and curb the accelerated appreciation that was happening in the housing market and trying to curb the accelerated appreciation of inflation. That's why they're doing this. It's an engineered stall. Now, how long the stall lasts, we've watched and heard the Federal Reserve say that they're going to start slowing down the rate of their rate increases. We also know that when election cycles happen, our lovely politicians do everything in their power to gain our favor and gain control and gain our happiness again. And what an amazing thing it would be if interest rates could come back to 5% for an election year. So you can pretty well guarantee that that's going to happen around 2024.
Yeah.
Between now and then, you guys will probably get to 8.5%, possibly even 9%. That's what I've been hearing from lending institutions. That's what they're forecasting, that we'll get above 8%, possibly encroaching 9%. And by 2024, we should be back to 5%. Now, Tim in the chat just said there was 17% in 1972. Hell yeah, it was. I was
Yeah.
just talking to my family, and many people in the 80s and late 70s were paying 12 to 20% interest on their property. So this is all real. This is like, this has happened before, guys. We're not in this like magical world of, oh my God, everything's unknown. All of this has happened once before. History repeats itself. That's why we can, that's why human beings are so, why we have such a competitive advantage and why we become the dominant species on the planet is because we can see history and we can learn from it.
Yeah. There's still, there's that question of like, well, if a buyer buys and they flip, who are they going to sell it to if the families can't buy at if their interest rates are at 7.5%, 8%. Buying is still happening. I literally had this thought, I was like, maybe I should go ahead and sell. We have one long-term rental and I don't want to deal with long-term rentals anymore. And I was like, well, maybe we should sell it. I was like, well, I mean, who's going to buy it? It's built in 2013, so it's a good property. It was on the market for 3 days and we sold it asking price. People are still buying. So people still need homes to live in, and some rent or buy. Rental rates are going through the roof too, so they'd rather pay the extra few $100s on a home that they own than the rent that's continuing to go up. So people are still buying.
Absolutely, they are.
This is a really good question. What would an initial conversation sound like as a brand spanking new real estate investing person who is looking to build their buyers list that doesn't have any properties to send immediately to them? That's a great question, because we've been talking about, well, I have a property to send your way. Conversation, you ready? I have a property to send your way.
That's it.
That's it. It's the same conversation.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yep.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, because I mean, whether you do or you don't, you still are going to find out what their buy box is. They don't know whether you have it or not. You do have it because they're out there for you to get. So you have it. And now that you have their information in buy box, once you get it locked up and under contract, you send it their way. So conversation's the same.
That's it. Guys, some general housekeeping. I'm seeing the same questions getting asked in the chat. How will we get the compensation agreement? It'll get emailed out to everybody that is a Privy user. Also, we've seen about 22 of you took action today and signed up on Privy. Amazing. That's great. Of course, you 22 will be entered into the draw to come and visit us for our premiere. Also, for those of you that already have Privy, you're automatically entered. So don't stress. You will be entered into the draw. So we will be seeing 5 of you at our premiere. If you haven't taken action and if you're just still sitting on the sideline, I have to ask you, what don't you trust about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
What about your capacity to be committed to this process are you in question of? Because I think that's where we really want to get focused on, right? Brittany, you did a phenomenal job. You showed us the process. You showed us what it sounds like to have a relationship with an existing buyer. We went through and looked for some buyers through Privy, had a little bit of a difficult time getting a hold of people, but pivoted to reaching out to an agent. I think that connection with Ariel is going to be a phenomenal one for you. Somebody that will be able to absolutely connect the dots with Ali, who's his buyer. And that was just great. Guys, if you don't have the promo code for Privy, it's in the chat right now. It's MBC 2022. MBC 2022. That's a MONEYBAGS Challenge 2022. Also, if you are not a part of a community like Astro Flipping, why are you here? Right? If you're not a part of a community like Sub 2, you are missing out. These communities are massively important. This is how you will connect. This is how you do deals. You've heard Brittany say she's done dozens upon dozens of transactions with Astro students, with other Astro family members. It's so important for you to connect and be a part of a social structure that will help prop you up and push you when you're not showing up for yourself. I've watched Brittany come on to some of our coaching support calls. I do calls with the Astro family twice a week. They're very long. Brittany, on average, how many hours do you think I spend on my Tuesday and Sunday calls?
5?
5-6 hours at a time,
5,
guys.
6, nothing less than 5, I don't think.
It is crazy the amount of time that we spend with you guys, just making sure that you've got all your answers, all your questions answered, everything done. So Sammy is in the chat right now. If you have any desire to learn what our community is like, Sammy is in the chat. Connect with Sammy. He's so cool, so fresh. He's an awesome dude. And he'd love to give you some details about what it is to be a part of the Astro family. Benson,
y'all have everything at your fingertips. I mean, this from Astro to Privy. I mean, there is no reason whatsoever that by the end of 2022 you are not successful or heading towards your goal, because you're literally being here's a platter. Like, take it off the platter. It's being handed to you. Y'all, oh my gosh. and the community, the systems, it's a no-brainer. And like I said, people ask, that's probably one of the number one questions I get, because I have people that will call me who are interested in doing what we do. And do you have any regrets? Absolutely not. I would be stuck where I was in 2020 and 2020, early 2021, had I not joined this community, and had I not have this stuff like Privy available, and the systems that we use available. I wouldn't even know what system to use. So
I mean, look at your house. Look what you're about to move into.
My house.
Guys,
our next challenge.
Brittany texted me and said when she first did it, she said she called it the house that Astro built.
The house that Astro built. I think we need a plaque in our driveway. The house that the Astro built.
You built it. We helped give you the knowledge and the things. But Brittany, you've been a phenomenal jewel to our community. We love you. We adore you. There's so many people that just get an immense amount of understanding of what we do here from the things that you teach. So from the bottom of my heart, and everybody who tuned in today, I want to thank you for spending your time with us and being a part of the MONEYBAGS Challenge. You are a star, Brittany. You're incredible. And I know that you're going through it right now because you're moving. And so guys, she's like in the process of moving right now. She literally All of her stuff is in boxes. She's going to be in her
No,
new house
yeah,
at the end
no
of the week.
idea.
Like, you have no idea the kind of chaos that's going on in her life right now. Yet she still
Yeah.
took the time out of her day to be a part of what we did here. And that's commitment, guys. That's showing up. Now we want to see the rest of you guys show up for day 2 tomorrow, because it's going to be a good one. Tomorrow we got Hakab from Keighley. Now, guys, a lot of you have been asking, how do we find buyers? I heard Jitu asked in the questions. He said, when I can't find my buyers through batch skip tracing or True People Search or Open Corporates, and I can't get their phone numbers, what would be another way for me to get to them? And that's what we're going to cover tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to cover how Keighley has built the nation's best and biggest buyers lists using social media. And Hakab will be doing that, running through the entire process with you guys on how we find our buyers on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Bigger Pockets, the different social media platforms that are out there to help you connect and do business with one another. Hakab is a genius. So make sure you bring your notepads, guys. It's going to be, you've never seen this content before. You have never seen this content before. I haven't brought Hakab out to anybody but my Astro Flipping Mastermind students and attendees. They're the only ones who have ever heard from Hakab before, but you all will get to hear from him tomorrow, and it's going to be amazing. He is a mind splitter. So bring your notepads. Again, we will be emailing the chat to everybody who signed up for Privy or is signed up for Privy. You will also, everybody who is asking, will there be a replay? I'm going to be posting the replay of this on my YouTube channel. No gate, no membership, just giving it away. It's going to be posted. So if you didn't get all the notes or you want to go back and refresh and rewatch this again, it's going to be on my YouTube channel, probably posted in the next week. Guys, keep getting after it. The day is yours. Seize it. Take it. From all of us here at Astro Flipping, have a good day. Thanks for watching another one of my YouTube videos. Now it's your turn to go out and take some action. But before you do, like and subscribe to my channel, because the law of reciprocity means you owe me.